Life begins when you find yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when you look in the mirror and ask, who am I? You see your reflection, but you don't recognize the person staring back. You've spent years trying to meet expectations, trying to be what the world wants you to be, and in that journey, you lost yourself. But let me tell you something. Life doesn't truly begin until you find yourself. We live in a world that constantly tells us who we should be. It tells us what success looks like, what happiness should feel like, and what dreams are worth chasing. And in trying to fit into those definitions, we start living for others, not for ourselves. We become prisoners of opinions, chained by fears, and controlled by the what-ifs. What if they don't approve? What if I fail? What if I'm not enough? But the moment you stop asking for permission to be yourself, the moment you let go of the need to be accepted, that's when your life truly begins. You are not here to be a copy of someone else. You are not here to shrink yourself so others feel comfortable. You are here to live, to shine, to embrace every flaw and every strength that makes you uniquely you. Finding yourself is not about changing who you are. It's about returning to who you've always been. It's about unlearning the fear, breaking free from expectations, and standing tall in your truth. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, this is me, and I am enough. So I ask you today, when will you stop existing and start living? When will you stop being who the world wants you to be and start becoming who you are meant to be? Because life doesn't begin when you get that degree. It doesn't begin when you land that perfect job or when someone chooses to love you. No, life begins the moment you choose yourself, the moment you stop searching for approval and start embracing your own light, the moment you find yourself. And when that day comes, you will realize you were never lost. You were just waiting to be found by the one person who matters the most, you. Finding oneself is a journey that many people embark on, yet few truly understand. From childhood, we are conditioned to seek approval from our parents, teachers, friends, and society as a whole. We are taught that validation from others defines our worth. If we do well in school, we are praised. If we follow the rules, we are considered good. If we fit into the mold that others have created for us, we are accepted. This constant need for approval becomes so ingrained in us that we begin to base our decisions, our ambitions, and even our identity on what others think. But life in its truest and most fulfilling form does not begin until we break free from this cycle. Life begins when we stop seeking approval and start embracing our true selves. The problem with seeking approval is that it places our happiness and self-worth in the hands of others. We begin to measure our value based on how others perceive us, rather than on how we feel about ourselves. This creates an endless loop of self-doubt and insecurity, because no matter how hard we try, we can never please everyone. There will always be someone who disagrees with our choices, someone who questions our path, and someone who believes we are not enough. And when we rely on external validation, we allow these opinions to shape our reality. We become puppets controlled by the strings of societal expectations, afraid to step outside of the boundaries that others have drawn for us. Breaking free from this need for approval is not easy. It requires deep introspection and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. It requires us to ask ourselves difficult questions. Who am I when no one is watching? What do I truly want in life? Am I living for myself, or am I living for the approval of others? These questions may seem simple, but answering them honestly takes courage. It takes strength to admit that we have spent years molding ourselves into what we believe others want us to be, rather than embracing who we truly are. One of the greatest barriers to embracing our true selves is fear. the fear of rejection, the fear of judgment, and the fear of failure. We are afraid that if we stop conforming, if we stop seeking approval, we will be left alone. This fear keeps us trapped in relationships that no longer serve us, in jobs that drain us, and in situations that stifle our growth. We silence our own voices, suppress our own desires, and abandon our own dreams just to fit in. But the truth is, the moment we choose to be ourselves, fully and unapologetically, we attract the right people into our lives, the ones who accept us for who we are, rather than for who we pretend to be. Authenticity is the foundation of true happiness. When we embrace who we are without filters or masks, we experience a sense of freedom that cannot be found in external validation. We begin to trust ourselves, to honor our own feelings, and to make choices that align with our values. This shift in mindset transforms every aspect of our lives. Instead of asking, will they like me? We start asking, do I like myself? Instead of chasing approval, we chase purpose. Instead of living to impress, we live to express. The irony is that the people who truly make a difference in this world are often the ones who refuse to conform. They're the ones who dare to be different, who embrace their uniqueness, and who refuse to let others define them. Think of the artists, the innovators, the leaders who have left their mark on history. They did not seek approval, they sought truth. They did not follow the crowd, they followed their calling, and in doing so, they inspired generations. But you don't have to be a world-famous figure to live authentically. You don't have to change the world, you just have to change the way you see yourself. The moment you decide to embrace your true self, your entire perspective shifts. You no longer feel the need to explain your choices to others. You no longer crave validation from those who do not understand your journey. You stop apologizing for being different, for thinking differently, for wanting more out of life. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. One of the most liberating realizations is that not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. You are not meant to be understood by everyone. You are not here to fit into every mold that society presents to you. You are here to be yourself, to carve your own path, to chase your own dreams, and to create your own definition of success. When you stop seeking approval, you begin to trust your intuition. You start making decisions based on what feels right for you rather than what looks right to others. Embracing your true self does not mean you will never face criticism. In fact, the more you step into your authenticity, the more you will encounter resistance. People may question your choices. They may doubt your abilities. They may even try to pull you back into the box that you fought so hard to escape. But remember this. The opinions of others do not define you. Their doubts do not limit you. Their expectations do not dictate your worth. True confidence comes from knowing that you are enough as you are, without needing validation from anyone else. It comes from standing firm in your truth, even when the world tries to shake you. It comes from understanding that your value is not determined by how many people approve of you, but by how deeply you approve of yourself. Choosing yourself is the most powerful decision you will ever make. It is the moment you reclaim your freedom, your happiness, and your purpose. It is the moment you realize that you were never meant to live for others, you were meant to live for yourself. From the moment we are born, we are given labels, roles, and expectations. We are told who we should be, how we should act, what we should pursue, and even what success should look like. We internalize these messages without question, shaping ourselves according to the world's definitions rather than our own. Over time, we begin to lose sight of who we truly are. We become so entangled in the expectations of others that we forget to ask ourselves what we actually want, what makes us feel alive, and what gives our life meaning. But finding yourself is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to who you have always been before the world told you who you should be. Life has a way of burying us under layers of conditioning. As children, we express ourselves freely, we dream without limits, and we see the world with curiosity and wonder. We do not hesitate to speak our minds, to explore our interests, or to embrace our uniqueness. But as we grow, we are told to quiet down, to be realistic, to follow the path that has already been laid out for us. We are taught that success is measured by external achievements rather than internal fulfillment. And so we learn to suppress parts of ourselves that do not fit into these molds. We silence our voices to avoid judgment. We abandon our passions to meet expectations, and we trade authenticity for approval. The journey back to yourself is one of unlearning. It is about peeling away the layers of who you were told to be and reconnecting with who you truly are. It is about questioning the beliefs you have carried for years and asking yourself if they are truly yours or if they were imposed upon you. It is about recognizing that many of the fears that hold you back, the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of not being enough, were not born within you, but were taught to you by a world that thrives on conformity. When you begin to rediscover yourself, you start to notice the things that truly bring you joy. You pay attention to the moments when you feel most alive, the passions that ignite a fire within you, and the dreams that refuse to fade, no matter how much you have tried to suppress them. You begin to let go of the need for validation because you realize that the only approval that truly matters is your own. You stop living according to timelines dictated by society and start embracing the pace that feels right for you. You give yourself permission to redefine success, happiness, and fulfillment on your own terms. This process is not always comfortable. Finding yourself requires facing the parts of you that you have ignored for too long. It requires sitting with your fears, your insecurities, and your doubts without running away from them. It requires letting go of relationships, environments, and mindsets that no longer serve you. It requires embracing change, stepping into uncertainty, and trusting that the journey back to yourself is worth it. It is not about reaching a destination, but about continuously evolving into the truest version of yourself. The more you embrace who you truly are, the more you realize that you were never lost. You were simply buried under expectations, opinions, and fears that were never truly yours to begin with. The essence of who you are has always been there, waiting for you to come back home to yourself. And when you do, you no longer feel the need to explain, justify, or prove yourself to anyone. You no longer feel the pressure to fit into roles that do not align with you. You stop looking for yourself in the approval of others and start finding yourself in your own truth. You reclaim your power, your voice, and your identity, not by becoming someone new, but by remembering who you were all along. There comes a moment in life when you realize that the only thing standing between you and the life you desire is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. It keeps you stuck in the same patterns, repeating the same routines, settling for a life that does not fulfill you. You dream of something greater, but every time you think about stepping forward, doubt creeps in. What if you fail? What if people criticize you? What if you are not good enough? These questions keep you trapped in a cycle of hesitation, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for certainty, waiting for permission. But life does not wait. The moment you stop choosing fear and start choosing yourself is the moment your real journey begins. Fear convinces you that playing it safe is the best option, that staying in your comfort zone is better than taking risks. But comfort zones are not meant for growth. They are meant for survival. Staying in the same place, doing the same things, making the same choices may feel safe, but it is not where you truly come alive. Growth requires movement, and movement requires courage. Every great thing in life, every dream, every success, every breakthrough comes from a moment of bravery, a moment when you decide that your desire for something greater is stronger than your fear of failing. Choosing yourself means trusting that your voice, Your dreams and your path matter. It means no longer waiting for someone else to validate your decisions, no longer seeking approval before taking action, no longer allowing fear to dictate your choices. It means acknowledging that you may not have all the answers, that you may make mistakes, that you may fail along the way, but understanding that all of these experiences are a part of growth. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to let failure stop them. They are the ones who fall but get back up, who face setbacks but keep moving forward, who hear the doubts but choose to believe in themselves anyway. The biggest shift happens when you realize that fear is just a thought, a story you have told yourself over and over again until it feels real. But if fear is a story, then so is courage. You can rewrite the narrative. You can choose to tell yourself a different story, one where you are capable, one where you are worthy, one where you are strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. The only difference between the people who chase their dreams and those who do not is the belief that they can. Once you decide that you are worthy of the life you want, you start making different choices. You stop saying yes to things that do not align with you. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you are ready and start telling yourself that you are. Many people spend their lives waiting for confidence to come before they take action. They think, once I feel ready, I will do it. But confidence does not come before action. It comes after. You do not become confident by waiting. You become confident by doing, by taking the first step even when you are scared, by showing up for yourself even when you have doubts, by proving to yourself over and over again that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Every time you choose yourself over fear, every time you take a step forward despite uncertainty, you build trust in yourself. You realize that fear does not control you, you control it. No one else can give you permission to live your life fully. No one else can choose you on your behalf. That is your decision to make. The world will always have opinions. There will always be people who doubt you, people who do not understand your path, people who try to tell you that you should do things differently. But their voices do not matter more than your own. Their doubts do not define you. Their expectations do not set the limits of your life. Only you have that power. And the moment you decide to claim it, the moment you decide to stop letting fear, doubt, and hesitation hold you back, is the moment you step into the life that was meant for you all along. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to how well we fit into the expectations of others. We are taught that success means following a certain path, that happiness is found in external validation, and that acceptance comes from conformity. Slowly, without even realizing it, we begin to shape our lives according to what others want rather than what truly fulfills us. We silence our own voices to be heard by the world. We shrink our dreams to fit into someone else's version of reality, and we trade authenticity for approval. But in doing so, we lose ourselves. Living for others' expectations is like walking a path that was never meant for you. Every step feels heavy, every choice feels forced, and no matter how far you go, you never truly feel at peace. You try to meet standards that were never yours to begin with, striving to be the perfect child, the perfect friend, the perfect partner, or the perfect professional. And yet, no matter how much you try to please, there will always be someone who thinks you should be doing more, someone who believes you should be different, someone who expects you to fit into their version of who you should be. This cycle is exhausting. It drains your energy, your passion, and your sense of self. The weight of expectations does not just come from society, it comes from the people closest to us, our families, our friends, our mentors. They tell us what is best for us, what choices we should make, what paths we should take. Sometimes their advice comes from a place of love, from a desire to see us safe and successful. But even love, when mixed with expectations, can become a prison. The fear of disappointing those we care about keeps us stuck in lives that do not belong to us. We choose careers that do not ignite our passion. We stay in relationships that do not bring us joy. We suppress our dreams because they do not align with what is expected of us. And with each compromise, we lose another piece of ourselves. When you live for others, you become a shadow of who you were meant to be. Your own desires take a back seat, your own dreams become secondary, and your own happiness is sacrificed for the illusion of belonging. But true belonging does not come from fitting into someone else's mold. It comes from being accepted for who you truly are. And the painful truth is, not everyone will accept you when you start choosing yourself. Some people will question your decisions. Some will call you selfish. Some will say you have changed. And in a way, they are right. You have changed. You have stopped being what they wanted you to be, and you have started becoming who you were always meant to be. There is a moment in life when you must decide whether to continue living for others or to start living for yourself. It is a moment of fear and uncertainty, but it is also a moment of power, because when you stop trying to meet unrealistic expectations, when you stop shaping yourself to fit into a mold that was never yours, you set yourself free. You give yourself permission to explore, to grow, to dream without limits. You start making choices that align with your heart rather than choices that please others. You stop apologizing for your dreams. You stop explaining your decisions. You stop seeking validation from those who will never understand your journey. It is not easy to break free. There will be moments of doubt, moments when you question if you are making the right choice. But the more you listen to yourself, the more you trust your own voice, the more you will realize that the life you are creating is yours and yours alone. And that is the most powerful realization of all. From a young age, we are taught that fitting in is the key to belonging. We are encouraged to follow the crowd, to blend in, to meet the expectations set by family, society, and culture. We are conditioned to believe that being different is risky, that standing out makes us vulnerable to judgment, and that the safest path is the one that has already been walked by many. And so we suppress parts of ourselves, we tone down our personalities, we hide our dreams, and we become versions of ourselves that feel acceptable to the world. But the truth is, the people who make a real impact, the people who find true happiness and fulfillment, are the ones who refuse to blend in. They are the ones who embrace their uniqueness, who step into their individuality with confidence, and who refuse to let others define them. There is a certain power in authenticity, a power that cannot be found in imitation. When you try to be like everyone else, you lose the essence of who you are. You begin to act, speak, and think in ways that are not truly yours, simply because it feels safer. You look around and see what others are doing, what is considered acceptable, what gains approval, and you mold yourself accordingly. But in doing so, you sacrifice the very things that make you special. You dim your own light just to fit into space that were never meant for you. You trade originality for comfort, passion for predictability, and self-expression for social acceptance. And yet, no matter how much you try to conform, there will always be something inside you that feels restless, something inside you that whispers, "This is not who I am meant to be." The world does not need more copies. It does not need more people who think, act, and live exactly the same way. It needs people who are willing to be bold, who are willing to stand out, who are willing to embrace what makes them different. It is those differences that create innovation, that inspire change, that bring new ideas and perspectives into the world. Every great artist, every great thinker, every great leader throughout history has been someone who refused to conform. They did not follow the crowd. They carved their own path. They did not wait for approval. They believed in themselves enough to move forward without it. They did not silence their voices. They spoke, even when no one was ready to listen. The fear of standing out often comes from the fear of judgment. We worry about what people will say, how they will perceive us, whether they will criticize us for being different. But the truth is, people will always have opinions, no matter what you do. Whether you conform or not, whether you play it safe or take risks, there will always be someone who disapproves. So why waste your life trying to please everyone? Why suppress your true self just to avoid criticism? The people who judge you are not the ones who will live your life. They are not the ones who will carry the weight of your regrets. You are the only one who has to live with the choices you make. And the greatest regret is not failing. It is never trying, never expressing, never allowing yourself to be fully seen. When you embrace your uniqueness, something shifts. You stop worrying about fitting in and start focusing on what truly makes you happy. You surround yourself with people who appreciate you for who you really are, not for who they expect you to be. You attract opportunities that align with your true self because you are no longer chasing things that do not belong to you. You start to live in alignment with your own values, your own passions, your own dream. And in that alignment, you find freedom. It is not always easy to be different. There will be moments when you feel alone, moments when doubt creeps in, moments when you question whether you should go back to blending in. But every time you choose authenticity over approval, every time you choose to stand tall in your uniqueness rather than shrink yourself for acceptance, you reclaim your power. You remind yourself that you were never meant to be like everyone else. You were meant to be fully, unapologetically, and boldly yourself.
Don't call me back, don't call me back. Call me to a dream where they dance on rooftops, drunk on kerosene. And if they can't feel it, they can't feel it. We'll just keep on chasing it till we drift, drift, drift. Oh, nah, nah, I'll be on the grip. Hearts like thunder burning the veil. No need to speak, just hold the line. That's right.